it's just all the hub of information that's coming into you in terms of from physios, from analysis. I think in terms of generally having the whole challenge of looking after the team, and I think that in unforeseen circumstances with Warren's injury, I think the one thing which Warren put in place was an integrated coaching team, and we work fantastically together, with Sean, Robin, and Neil, and nothing really had changed within our environment. The one thing which obviously was missing Warren in terms of another pair of eyes and a set of ears. And I think that I really enjoyed the challenge. Of course, it's tough times when you lose, but that's international sport, and people have questioned attitude of players. Being a player for Wales, I'd never question our players' attitude. They go out and give 100%. You have to be smarter and you have to play well, but that's not a given on the international stage. And ultimately, there's 15 guys trying to stop you, and they've, whether it's Samoa or Argentina, they've deserved to win those games, and we haven't. And you just have to take that on the chin. And I think the hardest part of the last 2 weeks is this group of players in terms of the leadership and how young these players are. I think these players have been together for 1 year, realistically, before Rugby World Cup, and the semi-final of Rugby World Cup was deemed a success. From the coaches and players, it was a failure. They've gone then into the Six Nations and had a Grand Slam, another success. It's the first time this group of players have come under the media spotlight and the pressure of losing, and I think that how you get out of those holes as a player, because you have to experience that failure and losing games to become better players, to become a better side. And that's what's happened over the last 2 weeks. And I got no doubt in my mind that these group of coaches, myself, and the players will be better players and coaches for that experience.
It's a process, isn't it?
It is a process, and I think, Munster have done it in the European Cup.
Yeah.
To lose, you have to get to the final and you have to lose those big games, and that's part and parcel of sport. And I think that the one thing about sport is that it's how you bounce back.
Looking back, Rob, last year you were part of the Welsh management that took the team nearly all the way to the World Cup final, just losing in the semi-final. I suppose no one could blame you if you were still thinking, what if?
Yeah, I think, look, when we went to World Cup in 2011, we were really well prepared. I think that the ingredients of our training and the competition for places, and I think we changed our game and worked on the basics of international rugby, is kicking and passing accurately and keeping hold of the ball and the contact skill, and we worked immensely hard on that. We played smart, and we came through our pool of death really in terms of the number of tries we scored and the way we were playing and the physicality of our game. And we felt that Samoa was a big win. Samoa was a huge win. I think people look back at Samoa in that Rugby World Cup. They could have beaten South Africa just recently after playing us, and to beat them 17-10. That game could have gone either way, and I'll never forget Sam Warburton in the change rooms at half-time saying all the hard work that we've put in over the last 6 months, we're not going to lose this moment. And that was a big turning point in Rugby World Cup for us to beat Samoa in that game. And then obviously Fiji was easier than expected. And we were going into a quarter-final against Ireland, playing with confidence, self-belief, and putting sides under pressure with a passing game.
And that sort of confidence and self-belief seems critical to Welsh teams. In the World Cup, you were flying, and I suppose it was a sort of snowball effect. It looked like you knew you were going to beat Ireland in that quarter-final.
I don't think we were probably as arrogant as saying, we're thinking that we can beat Ireland. I think that the self-belief and confidence, and that's international rugby. And I think that when you get to quarterfinals and semi-finals of Rugby World Cup, of course you must be playing with confidence and self-belief, otherwise you wouldn't be there. And momentum in sport, in professional sport, is huge. And I think that we took our opportunities against Ireland. It's something which a lot of people have been frustrated and disappointed in then creating opportunities or lack of creating, but the number of tries we scored in Rugby World Cup and the opportunities we created, we've actually nailed them in a big game that there weren't many opportunities to take. And you know, John Davis coming back and obviously then missing the tackle, and I think that as you say, we were ready for the semi-final. We thought that as you would think, that we were in a good place.
And the semi-final against France, as we all know, you played a lot of that game a man down after Captain Sam Warburton was sent off very early on. On the bench, you and Warren Gatland, did you believe you could still win?
Absolutely, and I think the one thing which, you know, Warren Gatland brings as a coach is unbelievable optimism of winning games, and sometimes you've got no right to win games, and we can win this. And I think it was all positive chat from the coaches and the way the France were playing, and I think that obviously down to 14 men, putting Jamie Roberts on the scrum, you know, you're anticipating what you'd expect from France, but it never came. And I think maybe it tells you where they were in a psychological place compared to where we were, and we still believed. And you know, when Mike Phillips scores that try, and you know, I know with Steve, I can still see that ball going to the left-hand side half a metre when you know, Steve misses the conversion. I can see Lee Halfpenny just half a metre going underneath the post, and obviously our opportunity in the last couple of minutes of that game to take a drop goal. When you look back at Rugby World Cup, I think Wales, we left a legacy within New Zealand, and I think when you go to any country in the world and when you go to New Zealand, to gain the respect of the New Zealand public, and I think that you know, everyone spoke about the time, you know, they wish it was a New Zealand-Wales final, and that was taken away, but we'd left a stamp in New Zealand and a marker which the players can take great credit for, because on and off the field, in terms of discipline, the way they conducted themselves as players was hugely important. And I think that when you look back, although the way we went out, it's good memories.